Gentry, editor of Engerati, and I'm here with John Scott, who's the director of Chiltern Power consultancy. Hi, John.
Thank you very much.
Hi. Can you tell us a little bit about how you see utilities progress in terms of developing to the utility of the future and digitalisation?
It's a very challenging question, actually. In the exhibition around us here at Utility Week Live, there is the most fantastic potential, but I have a real fear that actually things are going to stall and not become the success they could be. And just briefly, there are three key issues that have got to be resolved, and if they're not, they'll become the elephant in the room, they'll become the blockage in the system. The first one is that if we want network companies to change to a new world, a digitized world, DSOs, how are they going to earn their money? What incentives are they going to have for taking new risks? Why should their investors encourage them to move away from traditional assets into smart systems? I haven't heard anything yet from the policymakers and from Ofgem to their thinking. So there's number one problem. Number two, the world is moving on from big centralized power plants and transmission and distribution to a highly distributed world with lots of activity beyond the meter. Many of the exhibitors around us here are at the grid edge, right? But the underlying technologies are almost without exception digital. And that data has got to move around across the whole system. It's got to move across company boundaries and across different markets. Who is responsible for joined up systems? Complex, subtle, technical systems have to be designed. They don't drop out of a market. And that's nobody's job. Now, until Ofgem and BEIS begin to get their mind around that and widen their RIIO-2 thinking, I think we're in some difficulty. And the third area, which is a tricky one, is that if everything I've just described is characterizing the future system, you have to ask whether the role of Ofgem is still really properly on track. And I'm not suggesting that Ofgem should be responsible for the true whole system and everything beyond the meter, but in my view they need to have some responsibilities towards enabling things beyond the meter.
And what do you think utilities can do, given this imperfect framework? How should they plan for the future?
Well, they're doing the things on the front line in the shop window which are right, which are good demonstration projects and sharing their learning. But what we really need to see them doing is speaking up for the need for holistic system thinking. They need to speak up for getting clarity for what a DSO role means in terms of investors looking at the system as well. So they may be reluctant to do that, and perhaps an understandable reason is that at the moment they earn their money by a different model.
Yeah.
So.
All right, well, we'll have to see what happens.
We
All right.
will.
Thanks a lot, John.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.